Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When God puts his hand on somebody, you can't miss it. You can feel it. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it hits you deep. Like truth, like fire, like peace, all rolled into one. And when God blesses a woman with his love, oh, you better pay attention. Because that kind of woman, she don't just walk into your life. She walks in with purpose, with heaven backing her. Now listen to me, before you scroll, before you swipe, before your attention drifts away, I need you to lean in just for a moment, because what I'm about to break down, it might help you recognize the queen sitting next to you, or the one you let slip away, or maybe the one you could become. Because this ain't just admiration, this is revelation. This is how you know she's blessed by God's love. Not just a good woman, but a divinely favored one. Now, I need you to really hear that. Let that sit with you. Because beauty fades, shifts, and changes. But grace doesn't age. Grace doesn't depend on lighting or angles. Grace is divine. It's something that can only come from above. You see her, and at first you might think it's her smile that draws you in, or her voice, soft yet commanding. Maybe it's the way she carries herself, calm, poised, like she's been here before. But what you're feeling isn't just charisma. What's pulling at your spirit isn't charm. What you're witnessing is grace in motion. This woman, she walks like she knows she's not walking alone. Like every step she takes has already been ordered, already been cleared. You won't catch her running after people who don't value her, because she knows her worth. Not from what the world told her, but from what God whispered into her soul when she was at her lowest. She's not arrogant, she's anchored. It's kind of like with if someone fails, she knows who she is, because she's not arrogant. It's humble, it's anchored. She's not loud, but her silence speaks volumes. She's not flashy, but somehow the light seems to find her. It's not about expensive clothes or a perfect face. It's about that unshakable peace in her eyes, the type of peace that doesn't make sense, the kind that says, I've seen storms, and I survived them all. She didn't just make it through, she grew through it. And now she walks with a softness that's stronger than steel. You might not know her story, you might not see the scars hidden behind that gentle smile, but don't mistake her calm for weakness. That calm was carved through chaos. That grace, that was earned in dark nights when no one else was around but God, when she had to pray her way out of heartbreak, when she had to wipe her own tears and keep going, when she had to choose forgiveness over revenge, mercy over pride, love over fear. A woman blessed by God's love doesn't need validation to stand tall. She doesn't chase attention because she carries favor. And favor doesn't shout. It doesn't scream. It just is. Quiet, consistent, undeniable. That's grace. And when she walks in the room, that grace arrives with her, and people feel it even if they can't explain it. She's the type of woman who prays before she acts. She listens more than she speaks. She covers others in love, even the ones who don't deserve it. Not because she's a pushover, but because she understands what it means to be covered herself. She knows what it means to be held up when she was too tired to keep standing. So now she becomes that strength for others. This woman is not perfect. Don't get it twisted. She has her moments. She has her flaws. But she's been refined, not ruined. And that's why her grace is so powerful, because it comes from real experience, real pain, real healing. It's not shallow, it's sacred. And when you talk to her, it hits different. Her words don't just land, they linger. She says one thing and it plays back in your mind for days. Because she's not talking from ego, she's speaking from a place of depth, of discernment, of divine connection. There's a wisdom in her that books can't teach, that school can't offer. It's been given to her, handed down from heaven, and it shows. She uplifts without even trying. She brings peace to chaotic rooms. She inspires without needing the spotlight. And if she ever lets you close enough to see the real her, the raw, unfiltered, vulnerable her, consider that a blessing. Because she's not just letting you into her life. She's inviting you into her faith, into the grace that keeps her going. The world calls it energy, social media calls it a vibe, but the truth is, what she carries is holy, it's sacred, it's a divine atmosphere that follows her wherever she goes, not because of who she is, but because of who walks with her. So if you've ever met a woman like this, honor her. Don't reduce her to her appearance. Don't label her based on your insecurities. Watch how she moves. Watch how she forgives. Watch how she loves. And then ask yourself where that kind of power comes from. Because when a woman is truly blessed by God's love, her grace makes the loudest statement without her ever needing to say a word. And that's how you know. Now, don't miss this, because in a world full of people who love for what they can get, she loves for what she can give. She loves from a place that's been broken, yes, but also rebuilt by something higher, something stronger, something holier. There's a difference between a love that wants you and a love that's willing to carry you. The world is full of the first kind, temporary, conditional, convenient. But her love? That's not something you stumble into. That's something heaven assigns. When she loves, she sees you, not just what you show, not just the image you project. She sees the wounds behind the words. She sees the boy behind the bravado. She sees the pain you thought you had buried, and she doesn't run. She doesn't flinch. She stays. Her love isn't loud. It's not performative. It doesn't need a stage, a spotlight, or an audience. It works best in the quiet, in the shadows, in the middle of the night when everything falls apart and you don't know who you are anymore. That's when her love shows up and says, "You're still worthy. You're still enough." She listens like she was born to understand. She speaks like every word is wrapped in compassion. She knows when to challenge you, but she'll never condemn you. Because her love is covered in grace, and grace doesn't shame. Grace restores. She will pray for you behind your back. She'll fight for you in the spirit. She'll protect your name when you're not in the room. And not because she's trying to earn anything, but because that's just who she is. She was built to cover, not compete. Her love is not weak. Don't confuse her softness for surrender. She's had to love people who didn't love her back. She's had to forgive people who never apologized. She's had to keep showing up for others even when no one showed up for her. That's not weakness. That's divine strength. When God blesses a woman with his love, he also blesses her with the capacity to love in ways this world can't explain. And it's not because she's naive. It's because she's connected. She's loving you through him. And that kind of love, it doesn't just make you feel good, it makes you feel safe. She doesn't hold your past against you. She doesn't weaponize your mistakes. She doesn't keep score. Instead, she sees what's possible in you even when you don't. She'll believe for you when you stop believing in yourself. And when you fall, she won't gloat. She'll reach. She's not transactional. Her love isn't based on performance or perfection. She's not asking, "What can you do for me?" She's asking, "Who can I be for you when you're at your lowest?" That's a different kind of love. That's kingdom love. That's the love that lifts you, not the love that leaves you. She has the power to make you better just by being present. Her love brings peace, not pressure. You feel like you can breathe around her, like you don't have to pretend, like you don't have to hide behind strength. And that kind of love, that's rare. That's sacred. She doesn't love with her ego, she loves with her spirit. And that spirit, it's been refined in fire. She had to learn how to love when it wasn't returned. She had to keep giving even when it cost her everything. So now, when she chooses to love you, that's not something to take lightly. That's something to honor. She doesn't need to control you, fix you, or change you. She's not loving you to remake you in her image. She's loving you to remind you that you are already created in His. That's why her love feels different, because it's rooted in truth. Her love heals because it comes from healing. It restores because it comes from restoration. It uplifts because it comes from a woman who had to lift herself up time and time again when no one else did. So when she gives you her love, she's not just offering emotion, she's offering evidence. Evidence that God still moves through people, that love can still be pure, that connection can still be holy, that there are still women out there who carry something sacred in their hearts and pour it out, not for recognition, but out of obedience. And maybe you're the one who's received that kind of love, or maybe you've taken it for granted, or maybe, just maybe, you're realizing right now that this is the kind of love you've been praying for. Either way, understand this. When a woman is truly blessed by God's love, her love won't drain you. It will heal you. And that healing, that's how you'll know she's been touched by something divine. You see her now, calm, collected, composed. You see the glow, the peace, the way she carries herself like a storm can't touch her. But let me tell you something real. That kind of strength doesn't just show up. It's forged. It's earned. That woman had to walk through battles most people wouldn't survive. Don't get fooled by her smile. Don't think for a second she's had it easy. That smile, it's a testimony, a quiet celebration of every night she cried herself to sleep and still got up the next morning. Every time she was disappointed, betrayed, abandoned, but kept her heart soft. Every time life tried to harden her and she said, "No, I'm still going to love." She didn't come out of the fire the same woman who walked in. No, she came out stronger, wiser, sharper, and with a kind of spiritual armor that can't be bought, borrowed, or faked. Life tested her, people tested her, even her faith was tested. And there were moments, real ones, where she thought she wouldn't make it, moments where her prayers felt like they were hitting the ceiling, moments where the weight of it all almost crushed her. But somehow, she found strength where there should have been none. She found hope in places that looked hopeless. She held on, not because it was easy, but because she knew her survival had a purpose. Now she moves differently. She doesn't panic like she used to. She doesn't chase people or beg for love. She's been through enough to know that peace is priceless, and if you threaten it, you're not meant to stay. She's learned how to let go, how to walk away, not out of bitterness, but out of growth. She's learned the difference between loyalty and self-betrayal, between staying out of love and staying out of fear. And trust me, she's not afraid anymore. The fire taught her. It taught her how to stand alone and still be whole. It taught her that being broken doesn't mean being defeated. It taught her that God does His best work in the dark, when the world stops clapping, when no one's watching, when it's just her and her faith and the silence in between. There's a resilience in her that doesn't make sense. You can't measure it, you can't label it, you can't replicate it, because it's not of this world, it's divine. It's the kind of strength that comes when your knees have hit the floor and your only choice is to believe or break. She believed, not because she always felt like it, but because deep down she knew this pain had a purpose, this season had a lesson, and her life, it wasn't over, not even close. So now when life tries her again, and it will, she doesn't fold. She prays, she breathes, she moves with intention, and she doesn't just survive, she builds. She builds herself back up. Every time, she rebuilds her peace, her joy, her identity. She's not waiting on someone else to rescue her. She knows who she is, and more importantly, she knows who she belongs to. She doesn't let the fire define her. She lets it refine her. And if you're lucky enough to know her, to really see her, you'll notice something different in the way she talks, the way she pauses before she speaks, the way she walks into the room like she already knows she doesn't need to prove anything. That's not ego, that's clarity. Clarity that comes from the fire. Clarity that taught her not everyone deserves access to her. Not everything requires her reaction. Not every loss is a loss. Some are divine redirections. Some are blessings in disguise. And she's learned to trust the timing even when it doesn't make sense. She's no longer interested in surface level anything. Conversations, relationships, friendships. If it doesn't feed her soul, she's not staying. Why? Because the fire taught her time is sacred, peace is sacred, her heart is sacred. She's not bitter, she's better. She's not hard, she's holy. She's not angry, she's anointed. She didn't come out of the fire untouched. She has scars, she has memories, but she wears them with honor because they remind her of who she used to be and who she chose to become. So if you're wondering how to recognize a woman blessed by God's love, watch how she walks through fire. Watch how she keeps her faith when everything around her is falling apart. Watch how she smiles again after life tried to silence her joy. Watch how she forgives, how she rises, how she keeps loving even with a heart that's been bruised. That's not ordinary, that's divine. And that fire, it didn't destroy her. It revealed her. You can feel it, not just see it. The air changes, the energy realigns, the space responds to her presence. Because she doesn't just walk in like she belongs. She walks in like she was sent. She's not loud. She doesn't need to be. Her power isn't in her volume. It's in her spirit. You don't hear her coming, but once she's there, you can't ignore her. Not because she demands attention, but because she commands it. There's a difference. It's not about what she's wearing. It's not about titles or labels. It's not about what she drives or how many people know her name. What you're witnessing is something much deeper. You're witnessing anointing. She walks with it, covers others in it. And whether you believe in God or not, whether you're spiritual, religious, or just curious, you feel something different when she's near. Peace follows her like a shadow. Confidence too, but not the kind that brags. The kind that's built on knowing exactly who she is, and more importantly, who walks with her. She doesn't need to compete. She doesn't chase validation. She doesn't shrink to make others feel comfortable. She's already done that. Dimmed her light, softened her truth, downplayed her strength. But not anymore. The time for that is over. Now she walks in full alignment, fully aware of the weight she carries and the power she holds. And it's not arrogance, it's awareness. She knows she's been through too much to walk in fear. She's cried too many tears to settle for mediocrity. She's overcome too many nights where she had to encourage herself just to keep going. That kind of journey doesn't produce small energy. That kind of journey creates a presence. You can't fake what she carries. You can't imitate it. You can't bottle it up and sell it. It's divine. It's heaven-backed. And when she walks into a room, she doesn't bring chaos. She brings clarity. The kind of woman we're talking about, she doesn't gossip. She doesn't entertain drama. She's not interested in who's winning or who's losing because she's already won a battle you never saw. She walks in rooms with her head high, not because she's trying to impress anyone, but because she knows what it took just to show up, just to survive, just to stand. And that kind of woman doesn't have to say a word to be powerful. Her silence speaks. Her eyes hold wisdom. Her posture says, "I've been through fire and I'm still glowing." People notice. Not because she's trying to be seen, but because she radiates something this world can't explain. It's not beauty alone, it's presence, a divine one. The kind that unsettles the insecure and uplifts the brokenhearted. The kind that silences a room, not with fear, but with reverence. Like people instinctively know they're standing in front of something holy. And if you've ever had a conversation with her, you already know. She listens in a way that makes you feel safe. She speaks in a way that makes you feel seen. She doesn't waste words. Every sentence carries weight. Every pause feels intentional. She's not trying to fill space. She's trying to offer. That's what makes her unforgettable. Because when she leaves the room, you're still thinking about what she said. Still feeling what she stirred in your spirit, still wondering how someone so calm, so grounded could impact you without ever raising her voice. It's because she's rooted. She's anchored. She's not blown by every wind, every opinion, every trend. She's not trying to go viral. She's trying to be valuable. She's not chasing moments. She's building legacy. She walks into the room knowing her steps are ordered, her words are watched. Her influence is not about followers, it's about fruit. She's not there to impress, she's there to impart. She's not looking for applause, she's looking for alignment. That kind of presence is rare, that kind of spirit is holy. She carries the weight of generations on her shoulders and still makes it look effortless. She's someone's answered prayer, someone's reminder that strength and softness can live in the same soul. Someone's living proof that you can be fire and water, warrior and worshiper, fierce and faithful, all at the same time. So when she walks into the room, pay attention. Not to the surface, not to the makeup or the fashion or the titles, but to the atmosphere. Watch how things shift. How tension melts, how eyes lift, how peace enters. That's not coincidence. That's what happens when a woman blessed by God's love steps into her purpose. And if you're still asking how you know she's the one, simple. When she walks into the room, everything changes. When a woman is truly blessed by God's love, she understands something most people miss. Her light was never meant to dim someone else's. Her power isn't a threat, it's a protection. She doesn't need to tear anyone down to rise. She doesn't need to outshine, she uplifts. And that right there, that's divine. Because in a world that teaches you to win at any cost, she chose love. In a culture that says, be the baddest, be the loudest, be the center, she said, no, I'd rather be a blessing. She's not playing the game of comparison. She's not caught up in applause, attention, or approval. Her validation doesn't come from the outside, it comes from within. She knows who she is, she knows what she carries, she knows her gifts, her presence, her impact. They all come from a higher source, and because she knows where it comes from, she doesn't need to guard it with jealousy or fear. She's not afraid of another woman's shine. In fact, she celebrates it. She pours into it. She blesses it. Because a woman of God understands we don't lose power by lifting each other. We gain it. She walks into every room with this quiet confidence, not because she thinks she's better, but because she knows her worth. And when a woman knows her worth, she doesn't need to tear another woman down to feel valuable. She's not moved by envy because she knows her lane, her purpose, her calling. They're hers. No one can steal it. No one can replace it. And because she knows that, she's free to support. She's the woman who'll fix another woman's crown in private, who'll speak your name in rooms of opportunity, who'll pray for your success, not your downfall. She'll stand beside you, not in front of you. She'll remind you of your power when you forget it, and she'll fight for your healing when you can't fight for yourself. That's not weakness. That's not passiveness. That's spiritual maturity. She's been on both sides. She's been overlooked. She's been underestimated. She's been the target of gossip, the victim of envy, the one people tried to break because they couldn't be her. And she remembered that feeling, how lonely it is when other women see you as competition instead of community. And she made a vow in her soul, I will never be that woman. So now she covers, she protects what's sacred, not just in her own life, but in the lives of others. She speaks life. She pours wisdom. She lifts up her sisters because she knows this world is already heavy enough. She's not here to add weight. She's here to help carry it. This kind of woman is dangerous to darkness. Because unity, love, sisterhood, that shakes the foundations of every lie that says you're not enough or you've got to fight to be seen. She shows up with truth, with light. And light doesn't compete with other light, it just makes the room brighter. You'll never catch her in petty games. You won't find her comparing, tearing, or talking behind someone's back. That's beneath her spirit, not because she's perfect, but because she's grown. She's been through the kind of pruning that stripped away the need to perform. She's rooted now. And when you're rooted, you don't get moved by every storm that passes through someone else's success. She knows this simple truth. What's for her is for her, and what's for you is for you. She's not threatened by someone else's breakthrough. She's inspired by it. She knows another woman's win doesn't take anything from her plate. It just means the table is getting bigger. And trust me, when you're covered by a woman like this, you feel it. You feel safer. You feel seen. You feel like you don't have to wear armor around her. You feel like someone actually wants to see you rise. Because she does. That's how you know she's been touched by something holy. That's how you know she's been molded by God's hands. Because her instinct is not to compete, it's to cover, to hold space, to intercede, to stand in the gap. And in a world that tries to divide women into categories, the pretty ones, the smart ones, the strong ones, she tears down every wall and says, we are all daughters of the King. Let's walk like it. That's not ordinary. That's divine. So when you come across a woman like this, honor her, learn from her, be grateful for her, because she's not just rare. She's a walking reminder of what God's love looks like when it's poured into a woman who chooses to pour it back out. She's not here to compete. She's here to cover. And the world's a whole lot brighter because of it. Not the performance, not the presentation, not the polished moments people post online. I'm talking about the private places, the sacred stillness, the in-between hours where it's just her and God. Because a woman blessed by God doesn't just know about him, she knows him intimately, deeply, consistently. You'll see it in how she carries herself, yes, but if you lean in closer, you'll see something even deeper. A spiritual rhythm that moves her life, a quiet fire that burns in her heart, a sacred peace that didn't come from this world. She's not perfect, let's be clear. She's not walking around acting like she has all the answers, but she knows where to go when life gets loud. She knows who to run to when the storms rise. She's built an altar in her heart, not just for Sunday mornings, but for every day. She doesn't need a stage to worship. Her whole life is worship. You can see the evidence in how she walks through seasons of silence. When prayers aren't answered right away, when doors close, when people leave, she doesn't fall apart. She might bend, she might cry, but she doesn't break. Why? Because her faith isn't seasonal. Her relationship with God isn't based on outcomes. It's based on intimacy. She's the kind of woman who knows how to steal away, how to shut the door, how to drop to her knees and fight battles in the spirit before they ever touch her life in the natural. She's been in that secret place so many times, it's her default now. She doesn't panic, she prays. She doesn't spiral, she seeks. And when the world says, there's no way, she goes straight to the one who's never failed her yet. It's not loud, it's not flashy, it's real. She doesn't always post about it, she doesn't need to. Her life is the proof. The fruit is visible. The peace on her face, the calm in her voice, the strength in her eyes. That's not personality. That's presence. The presence of God doesn't just visit her, it dwells in her. And don't get it twisted. She's been through some things that should have left her bitter, broken, numb, but instead they made her deeper, more rooted, more surrendered. Because every time life tried to break her, she fell back into the arms of the one who already knew her scars, her fears, her failures, and loved her still. She's the kind of woman who'll stop mid-conversation and say, let's pray. Who will lay hands, speak life, and intercede for you like she's standing in the gap with heaven behind her, because she is. She knows her prayers have power, not because of who she is, but because of who's listening. That's what makes her dangerous to darkness. She doesn't fight with her fists, she fights with her faith. She doesn't need to clap back. She'll go to war in prayer and shift things from the inside out. That kind of woman, she's not just surviving life, she's shaping it. She's not chasing blessings, she's aligned with the blessor. She's not living for applause, she's walking in assignment. She's not ruled by emotions, she's guided by the Spirit. And when you're around her, you feel something steady, something pure, something safe. That's not just her being nice. That's her being anointed. And you'll notice she doesn't move without praying first. She doesn't speak without weighing her words. She doesn't make decisions based on pressure. She waits for peace. And if it costs her comfort, but protects her calling, she'll choose obedience every time. Because she knows favor doesn't always look like fame. Sometimes it looks like discipline. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like walking away from what everyone else is chasing because God whispered, that's not for you. Her relationship with God is real, and that's why she walks differently, talks differently, loves differently. She knows how to sit in silence and still feel full. She's not chasing external highs. She's rooted in eternal truths. Her joy isn't based on circumstances, and her identity isn't up for debate. She knows she's a daughter of the Most High, and she walks like it. And maybe the world won't understand it. Maybe they'll call her too deep, too quiet, too intense. That's fine. She's not here to be understood. She's here to be used. And she prays every day, God, less of me, more of you. Lead me, break me, mold me, just don't leave me. And he hasn't. That's why she glows from the inside. That's why her peace doesn't make sense. That's why no weapon formed against her ever prospers. Not because the weapon didn't come, but because her faith blocked it. Her prayers stopped it. Her God handled it. So if you want to know if she's truly blessed by God's love, don't just watch how she shines in public. Watch how she worships in private. Watch how she prays when no one's clapping. Watch how she waits when the answer is still not yet. That's where the blessing lives. That's where God lives. And so does she. Now you've seen her, not just with your eyes, but with your spirit. You felt her presence, her power, her purpose. You've heard the signs, not signs written on paper, but etched into her life, into the way she walks, talks, prays, loves, endures, and rises. She is not an accident. She is not random. She is not here by chance. She's chosen. She's a living, breathing example of what happens when heaven touches earth through a woman who refuses to let life harden her heart. A woman who could have given up, but didn't. Who could have chosen bitterness, but chose grace. Who could have stayed broken, but stood back up, stronger. And let me tell you something. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't have to be perfect to be divine. God's love doesn't require you to have it all figured out. It just asks you to show up willing, open, real, because when a woman opens her heart to that kind of love, when she stops chasing the world and starts walking with God, everything changes. She becomes a sign that strength and softness can coexist, a sign that favor doesn't need a spotlight, a sign that peace is possible in the middle of a storm, a sign that healing is real, that purpose is real, that God is real. So if you see her, honor her. If you are her, embrace it. And if you're still becoming her, keep going. You're closer than you think. Because the truth is, the world doesn't just need more women. It needs more divinely lit ones. More women who shift the room just by walking in it. More women who cover instead of compete, who pray instead of panic, who love hard, walk soft, and carry heaven in their chests like a secret weapon. That's what this message is about. Not hype, not performance, not perfection. It's about recognizing the quiet miracle standing right in front of you. Or maybe the one standing within you. So if you needed a sign that God's love is real, that it's alive, present, and powerful, look no further. She is the sign. And maybe, just maybe, you are too.